Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop. And we also have some crazy, leaks just keep coming out. And of course this is a good thing because it means more shoes are coming out. But yeah, so Nike has officially unveiled the Nike Sabrina 2. And we have all the tech specs of the Sabrina 2. It's actually on Nike.com right now. You can click on it. You can't buy it though, it says coming soon. And the release date is June 28th, right? But we have all the tech specs and the price and all that. Also, we have a picture of the actual AE2 maybe? You know, this is a leaked image, so we don't know. But a lot of people have been posting it and they're saying possible Adidas AE2. So we have that as well. And also the Kai 1.5, Kai 2, or maybe a different version of the Kais, right? But yeah, let's get it started right off with the Nike Sabrina 2, right? So it says this is the Court Vision colorway. So it says Sabrina 2 Court Vision. It's $130, which is the same exact price, I believe, as the Sabrina 1. And $130, I feel like it's pretty good. You know, it's a pretty good price. It's not budget, but it's not mid-tier. It's like somewhere in between budget and mid-tier pricing, you know? Like 90 to $100 is the cheapest Nike goes for the hoop shoes. And the most expensive is like $200, like the LeBrons. So like $150 is like mid-tier pricing and $130 is around mid-tier to budget, I guess, right? But yeah, the Sabrina ones are super popular still. Even in the NBA, and also I see a lot of Sabrina ones at the gym. But yeah, we know what the actual tech specs are, right? So right here it says, for the cushioning setup, we have a 4-foot air zoom unit, gives you responsive pop and speed. It doesn't say if it's top loaded or not, but it does have a 4-foot zoom unit, just like in the Sabrina 1. Also, it says the midsole has 2 types of foam, which is weird. So it says our newest Cushlon foam gives you a plush underfoot sensation, so your feet feel fresh throughout the 4th quarter. And then a firmer Cushlon foam wraps around it to provide stability. So it's pretty much a carrier, right? So there's gonna be a carrier. It's stiffer around the perimeter of the actual midsole, and then in the middle, it's softer, right? So kind of like the Kawhi 4, and a lot of shoes do this as well. But hopefully it's not too stiff for the firmer Cushlon around the perimeter. Hopefully there's still a good amount of compression in the heel, but I definitely feel like Cushlon is a little bit of a downgrade comparing it to full-length React that we had in the Sabrina 1, right? Sabrina 1 had full-length React. It was super nice. Compression is soft in the heel, has a nice little bit of bounce. But yeah, again, we'll have to see on how the Cushlon is. It's saying it's their newest Cushlon, so maybe they developed it and put a different type of like foam composition into the actual midsole. But again, yeah, like the cushion is probably going to be pretty dang nice. But yeah, as far as the traction goes, we also have a picture of the traction. So it's like a herringbone traction pattern. And also we have a swoosh in the midfoot area and it kind of extends into the heel. The heel kind of has like circles that kind of ripples out. And also we have a different type of herringbone traction pattern following kind of like a line that goes throughout the entire outsole, right? Just like in the Sabrina 1, but the Sabrina 1 was pretty cool because it had an eye, right? And the heel had an eye and it kind of extended all the way into like the outsole, right? Which was of course for her last name. But yeah, hopefully the traction is really good, but I do like how well spaced apart the herringbone is so it doesn't trap too much dust, but we'll have to see on how good the rubber compound is, right? But yeah, as far as the cushioning setup goes, we can see of course the Cushlon, and in the heel it does have a good amount of foam that's kind of exposed. So I feel like it'll have pretty good, you know, compression. But in the back of the heel, we can see that purple part, which does look like plastic, which also kind of cages half of the foam in the back of the heel. And also in the heel for the upper, it has this kind of like synthetic material, which kind of looks like an external heel counter, but it's pretty much not. It's just like a thin material. But also it says zoom, air zoom in the midfoot area, which is weird. Usually if it's a heel zoom unit, it says air zoom in the heel. And if it's a 4-foot zoom unit, it says air zoom kind of like somewhere in the 4-foot area. But this is more like the midfoot area, which is just kind of a weird place to put it. But anyways, also we have some plastic coming out acting as a sidewall in the 4-foot, which of course is a good thing. Pretty much the same exact thing as the Sabrina 1. But also there seems to be a little bit more support, right? We can see another like material. It's like a synthetic material with this purple color in this colorway. And that'll add for a little bit more support because the Sabrina 1 was just a material, right? And so the Sabrina 2 definitely looks like it'll be a little bit more supportive, but a lot of people were saying that it looks exactly like or very similar to the Kobe 5. which of course is a good thing. You know, everyone loves how the Kobe 5 looks and performs. So Sabrina too, hopefully same thing, right? Also, we can see some flywire cables too. But yeah, there is the Sabrina 2. Also, a little update on the WoW 11. The WoW 11 should be coming out in a couple of weeks, which I'm super excited about. The traction looks pretty crazy, right? It's this semi-translucent outsole in this colorway, but also not only does it have the WoW 11, it also seems to have a WoW 11 Infinity. So they didn't do it for the WoW 10, but for the WoW 9 they had a regular version and also the Infinity version, right? So I guess they're doing kind of the same thing in the WoW 11 as well, but the WoW 11 looks pretty crazy and pretty dang different, right? So the WoW 11 Infinity seems to have like a shell, like an outer shell with the laces right here. And you can kind of see the cushion. It looks like full-length boom, which is of course a good thing. But yeah, it also seems to have like an inner booty type of material, almost like a sock even. Which, you know, this is the WoW 11 Infinity. And then the regular WoW 11 actually has the upper that's like stitched to the actual shoe, probably, right? So there is a little bit of a difference there. And also we have, how many colorways? We have 4 colorways of the WoW 11 that have been unveiled, right? So this red one, this black one, but also another black and white one with red for the logo in the heel. We have a gray and white one, and also my favorite one, which is this kind of like shinier type of material, right? So there is the WoW 11, and next we have the AE2, which is kind of crazy. So Anthony Edwards, a couple of months ago, when he was doing promo for the AE1, he said he already had the designs of the AE1 through 3 all done, right? So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, just like the AE1, I guess Anthony Edwards just like, he likes a caged material maybe? But this cage looks freaking stiff almost. It almost reminds me of like a posit material, like the foam posits, which I really don't like that shoe. It's just super clunky, really stiff. I don't know how people played in that shoe, but yeah, also if you look at the heel, it's just rubber. So, oh man, hopefully it's not too clunky feeling. The AE1 actually did a pretty good job because it wasn't super clunky and super stiff in the heel, right? Even though it was a little bit, but it wasn't terrible, right? But the AE2 is just, it looks like a thick rubber, and the plastic cage that they got going on here looks pretty stiff. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But also you can see probably the boost, right? You can see the cage, right? And then maybe it's a drop-in. Maybe it's a drop-in midsole with boost. That would be absolutely amazing. Either just regular boost, jet boost, or light boost. That would be awesome, right? So maybe it's a drop-in, maybe. But of course, you can see the boost foam kind of like through the holes in the plastic, which I'm not a huge fan of. But if those are just holes, maybe the ventilation is going to be pretty good with the airflow. But hopefully we'll have to see on how soft the plastic caging is on this actual upper. Like the AE1 was actually pretty soft. It's like a softer type of plastic. So hopefully the AE2 is like that, but it doesn't look like it. So anyways, there's that. And next also we have Kyrie Irving. So he was wearing a different shoe for the game 7 against the Thunder, of course. And a lot of people were saying, oh, is this a new Kyrie Irving kind of Anta prototype? Is it his new shoe? It's not. So if you guys remember when Kyrie Irving was kind of, you know, he signed with Anta and then he was wearing the triple black shoes of like samples or prototypes of what was supposed to be the Kai 1. So he actually had triple black versions of the regular Kai 1. Of course, he had the strap and all that, but also he was wearing a different shoe. And this is literally what it looks like, right? So we have a lot of the foam exposed in the heel, but that also looks like it'll be the N2 foam, right? So if you look closely at this colorway, we can see the N2 foam, right? On the medial side, we have a lot of it exposed. It looks super thick. We can also see a mid-foot shin plate, right? With the TPU kind of coming up. Also, we have a good amount of the rubber coming up on the sidewall on the medial side, which of course is going to be good for good traction, for crazy cuts and stuff like that, crossovers. And then on the lateral side, like we can see the N2 foam, it looks pretty exposed and it has a little bit of the plastic caging just a tiny bit. Also the rubber comes up caging it as well. We also see that plastic with the purple color kind of coming up in the midfoot area as well. And for the upper, it almost looks like a curing material, right? It's probably like a textile material or something, but also seems to have like a very thin type of softer plastic strands kind of going over it. And there's a lot of them, like a very thin strand kind of going over the upper. So that kind of reminds me of Kieran. We can also see Kyrie Irving's logo on the tongue. But yeah, we have no idea what the shoe is. Is it the Kai 2? It probably, I mean, obviously not. It can't be. So maybe it's just like a different version of the Kai 1, or is it his budget shoe almost? It probably isn't going to be his budget shoe because, I mean, look at all the N2 foam. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have no idea what this shoe can be. Is it actually going to release? We also don't know that either. But I mean, Kyrie Irving is wearing it in this PE as well, in this like kind of colorway. So I'm guessing they're probably planning on releasing it, but I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's going to be. So, and also, by the way, this colorway of the Harden Volume 8 is my favorite. Out of all the colorways that have come out so far of the Harden Volume 8 for like the general release, it hasn't had that kind of shroud with the patent leather. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely waiting on that, you know, because my colorway and all the colorways that have come out has had that kind of crappier, kind of like suede or leather material, which is like kind of, it's not tight. It's just so loose on the toe box. But this with the patent leather actually looks kind of tight on the toe box. It looks great. I also love the silver kind of cage in the heel. That looks absolutely amazing. I mean, this colorway looks awesome. I definitely wish Adidas would release it, but it's just a PE so far right now. But anyways, those are some leaks of shoes that have come out recently, and I'm super duper excited about the new Kyrie Irving shoe and the AE2 and also the WOW 11 that should be coming out soon. Tell us what you guys are excited about down in the comment section below, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.